Hey Metafam, Piwizo here. Welcome to the channel. So it's been almost a month now since the letter to the Metazoo Community written by Mike Waddell. This was written December 15th, 2023, and it is now January 9th, 2024. So let's see what has been going on since this letter was written. And like I said in my last video, we should definitely hold Metazoo accountable for what they're promising here. And also, this is technically an apology letter. Some don't consider this to be apology because there's no the word apology in it, but they do say like Metazoo needs to do better, and I think in Metazoo's own way that is their way of saying sorry. But I digress. Let's continue on with the letter and see the pros and cons that Metazoo has been doing right now. So the first 3 points Metazoo has held correct in this letter. So 3 points for them, because there hasn't been any new pre-orders put up. There hasn't been any new collaborations, and there hasn't been any new core sets. One thing I do want to say about core sets is that in the latest Metazoo Hour, or the last Metazoo Hour that Mike Waddell did, he did mention that the Kurami Cryptid Carnival was considered a mini set and not like a full set like Seance, UFO, Wilderness, Nightfall, etc. And that there was a print run of 10,000, but that's unlikely to have include the TCG player collector boxes, which everyone's pretty much knows about now. It's in the Metazoo news or Metazoo realm for quite a while that like TCG player initially released it for like $400 and then it got slashed by half the price, so it's now $199.99 on TCG Player and eBay. But I do believe that Argos Anonymous said that on TCG Player they're no longer selling it. So, but still on eBay you can still pick them up for the $199.99. So essentially, like 2 to 3 weeks after the release of Kurami Cryptid Carnival, the price of the box just got gutted. So the secondary market just got destroyed for that item. And so I have mentioned this previously as well, that TCG Player is owned by eBay now, but then before TCG Player has also purchased Channel Fireball, and Channel Fireball was one of the partners that Metazoo burned like way back when, what was it? Just maybe like January or February of 2022. So it's been a while, but that grudge, I think it's still going on. But I digress again. So Metazoo has held to their words here. Core sets will be delivered to our distributor full 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time, where that's yet to be seen. So in this video, we'll just give them a point for that. So competitive play, this is where we start going down a rabbit hole a little bit. And the main focus here is, although there hasn't been any new towers or caster cups, and I do want to clarify that there aren't going to be any more towers or caster cups. Someone was asking in my previous video, so it says like for 2024, we will shift our focus with the release of each core set by running more events with smaller cash and product prizes until towers and the caster cup can be justified from a player growth standpoint. So the way that I take it, and I do believe that a lot of other people take it as well, is that there is no more towers and caster cup coming forward until, I guess, a future time that the player base grows. But this next part is the big important one. All pending tower payments to our successful casters will be going out before the end of 2023. Has that happened yet? No, it has not. And this is relating to the Dark Tower, which occurred in September or October of 2023. And none of the top cut, so like the top 32 people, got paid their cash prizes. And I don't believe that anyone got paid their product prizes as well, like the booster boxes, etc. And I don't know what Metazoo is doing regarding the delay. Perhaps they don't have the products in hand and they want to send the payment and product at the same time. But making a payment isn't that hard, right? Like, I deal with like wire transfers all the time, or even like PayPal and stuff. I don't know how the players get paid, but it should be a pretty fast process. And it's been almost a month now since this letter, and it's been like a week and a bit into January now, and no Dark Tower casters have been paid yet. So holding Metazoo accountable. Metazoo, if you're listening to this, please pay the players. That's been a really big sticking point lately, just because we had so much hope with this letter, and this was one of the biggest items on there that people were looking forward to, but none of the players have been paid yet. Actually, uh, Easton Evans, which is the, I guess the what's it called, the Casters Cup champion, or I guess champion of Metazoo right now, is talking pretty vocally about just how he's not getting paid yet. None of the players have been paid yet, and he's just going to be sticking to it. And with the other players as well, as you can see in this Towers TCG podcast, it's pretty good. It's pretty interesting to listen to, and it's kind of like a town hall as well for the players, just saying their side of the story on what they think of Metazoo now and how Metazoo can do better with, I guess, the payment process, and also just waiting for that, and how maybe in the future Metazoo can do better with the events. So definitely check them out. And linking onto the events, for this reason, primarily focused 2024 will be, I think, Collecticons, various cryptid-related events, festivals, conventions around the U.S. So that no convention has occurred yet since this letter, so we'll give that point to Metazoo as well. Partner program, another little bit of a sticking point here. It doesn't seem like there's maybe too many partner stores left with Metazoo. Like, I don't even know if Metakai is still a partner. I saw that his Instagram name's still Metakai, but I've been seeing a lot of like Pokekai advertisements a little bit in his stories, which shows like the Rayquaza rather than Quetzalcoatlus mascot that he's using, and we'll see what happens there. He's been selling a lot of like One Piece Lorcana Pokemon, but not too much Metazoo. Argos is another partner that's there. I actually can't name another one because Immortal Workshop was one. I believe Leading Gaming was one, but none of them really sell Metazoo that much anymore, or they're no longer partners. So yeah. So partner program, so they're not, so with the far focus of TCG presence at LGS, the partner program won't be expanding during 2024. So any partner programs that's still there is intact. Otherwise, focusing on LGSs, we'll see how that goes. Discord. So this was something that Metazoo made good on. Discord has been removed. Well, I shouldn't say has been removed. The Discord has become an announcement only page, but I have to say it's a little ironic, because we can see that, so we'll go into this a little bit too. So the roadmap was given on December 31st, but since then, since the Metazoo Discord has been closed to chat feature, there has been no new announcements or like order updates, and even like the Metazoo socials, like you can see there's barely any substantial updates of anything. It's just like spotlights of different cryptids or beasties. And also, like, I was pretty excited that Metazoo Games posted a YouTube video, but if you click on this link, it actually says the video has been removed. And that was literally like, what, an hour and a half ago? So that's really strange. So it has been like cobwebs in the Metazoo Games official Discord since they removed the chat function. So that is interesting. I think it might be a good or bad thing. I do believe it's mostly positive for Metazoo because they don't have to actively look at our rabbling and being salty all the time on all the delays or issues with Metazoo lately. So maybe with them being more zen and able to focus on themselves and the company more, perhaps, yeah, maybe it's a positive thing that there hasn't been any announcements at all. But one of the roadmaps is one of the things in the letter. So let's actually look at the roadmap that was released, which actually was also delayed by 2 weeks, which in the letter it says that the roadmap would be 1 week from December 15th, but it was released, December 31st, right? Which is like 2.5 weeks later. But yeah, let's go through it. Product backlog for January, February, and March. So Metazoo promised that there wouldn't be any more pre-orders and that they would take the few months in the new year, which is now, to get the backlog products in line. Pretty much what's still owing right now. Some UFO plushies, 3rd anniversary playmats and cards. Oh man, the streamer kits. It's almost a 1 year anniversary now. That was February of 2023. The Valentine's Day NFT Mothman. Promo, the plushies has been sent out. I don't know what else NFT stuff is still being owed, but there's quite a few backlog things being worked on. And then we have May, which is War is coming out, the next core set for Metazoo, which pretty exciting. War is supposed to be a pretty big set that wraps all of Cryptid Nation together, and we'll see the return of the big hitters. We got Mothman, Wendigo, maybe Cumberland Dragon. I think just like all the different, like UFO, maybe all the different sets fighting in a war, pretty much for Cryptid Nation. There's going to be a ultra secret potential collab June to July, which is a little bit strange because I think Metazoo says they weren't going to focus too much on collaborations and just on the main sets now. But there's an ultra secret, I guess, possible collab. So that's the main word in here. Don't know what that'll be. Let me summer, August, Seven Seas. So preparing to go to Yokai Island. So this is the linking set from pretty much Cryptid Nation, which is North America or the US at least, and going to Yokai Island, which is Asia or most likely Japan, because yokai is the cryptids of the Japanese lore. And that'll be November. I actually really like this roadmap. It's very simple. There's only 3 things. Well, 3.5 things. It was not very ambitious, which is really good because when Metazoo's 2023 roadmap came out, there was way too much stuff on there. Metazoo only got to like 20% of it, and a lot of stuff got shifted around. So I think the KISS format is good there. It's keep it simple, stupid, right? So that's really good there. And actually talking about backlogs, I have to bring this up a little bit because it's pretty interesting to me. Because if you look at some of my previous videos, I made a lot of videos about the Metazoo Kickstarter, poker Kickstarter. And one of the things was the original arts. So original arts was like the only thing that's been left from the Kickstarter that Metazoo did not send out. And it's been like almost 2 years now. So this is what someone that ordered the tier got. And so they did get the original print, but what they got instead of the 1-of-1 gold card is, you can see here, it's the Kickstarter, a Kickstarter box. So you may be saying, wow, that's a pretty good deal for the person that bought it. But if you can see here, let's go to the rewards. This is where it is. So I bought into the Artcaster, but you can actually see all the previous add-ons that you can add as well into here. And let's take a look at what the original art was, how expensive it was. Where is it? Metazoo USPCC playing card original art, Canadian dollar $6,678. And converted into US dollars, that's $5,000 US dollars. So what was included in this? Let's go back to, oh my gosh, I lost that page. See, now it has to load the updates again. Original art shipping soon. Okay. Sorry, guys. You gotta wait for me to scroll down a little bit. But yeah, I'll just talk a little bit about it. But yeah, there's supposed to be a 1-of-1 card of the original art piece as well. And that was supposed to be, I guess, the big item. 1-of-1 at that time was still pretty scarce. And, oh, here, Metazoo 1-of-1 playing card art is now available. Thank you for the support. See, even then, they were still advertising it well into the Kickstarter, and they were saying that there would be original artworks that would be seeded into the different tiers as well. Okay, here we go. As a thank you for crushing our goals, we are only keeping 25 original arts up for sale and giving the rest away for free. 25 original arts for sale will be composed entirely of face cards like kings, queens, etc. for 3 decks. These 25 original pieces of art will also be gold foiled 1-of-1 cards with the artwork purchase prints just for them. And with $5,000 USD, and with what the Kickstarter boxes are worth now, which is around like $1,500 to $2,000 US dollars, plus the original artwork. The original artwork technically, I guess, is valued at like $3,500 US dollars then. Like at the time of the poker Kickstarter, the Kickstarter box I do believe was like $7,000 or $8,000. So I think for sure it's worth it then. But with Metazoo's decision to replace the one of one gold foil card. I don't know what that even means. Maybe there was supposed to be real gold in it, but that wasn't followed through with. So the people, I think only 11 people purchased it for the original art for $5,000. Like they got in Hearthstone terms, they got skamazed a little bit, I feel. I guess if they don't own a Kickstarter box, it's pretty cool to own one, but just value wise, paying $5,000 just to get original artwork and a Kickstarter box rather than a one of one card, that I would be pretty angry, to be honest. But I don't think there's anything you can do with it. It's like a replacement item because Metazoo never really had the one of one art card. But like in the poster later, it seemed like the one of one art card was already in print and ready to ship. But so I don't know what's going on there. I pushed the PokerStar Kickstarter a little bit hard when it was up, and I just do feel a little bit guilty that if anyone did watch my channel at that time and got really hyped for the items, I do apologize because there was so many delays with this poker Kickstarter, and it didn't end up being what it was supposed to be. Like there was also supposed to be a poker Kickstarter card that you got for every order, but then Metazoo trashed that as well. So we didn't get that. And then there was like a year delay with the gilded decks, but Metazoo did do that right by giving cool looking, let's see if we can find it here, cool looking, what's it called? A foiling card that's, they don't have it here. Cool looking foiling cards that Metazoo printed themselves. So, but okay. So that kind of went off the rails a little bit. That kind of got my gears a little bit grinding because this is like near and dear to my heart. Anything that comes up regarding the USPCC playing cards, which USPCC didn't end up even partnering with Metazoo because it was Faded Spade that ended up printing, and I don't know what happened to the collaboration. It was supposed to be like Metazoo playing cards are supposed to be used at the United States Poker championships and stuff like that. People are talking about that at least, or maybe at least they would show up somewhere, but nothing happened with that. So another thing that just went up in the air with Metazoo collaborations, I guess. So okay, let's go back to the letter. Where were we? Okay, so we were talking about partners program, the Discord. So Discord has been removed. IP. Metazoo has been keeping up with their manga schedule that they said they would, but to be honest, I'm not too into the manga. Like I'll show you, this is the latest chapter. Like I agree, like some of it looks pretty good, but just like Sam Sinclair, just the face, it's just so, I guess, vanilla, minimalistic, and it's kind of hard to follow sometimes. Like that portal or like water cannon looks cool, but it's a bit hard to follow what's going on with just like the minimalistic look of it. And you can see, like, I guess Mothman comes out and he's in the bed again, but like, once again, it's like such a lack of facial features. Oh, there's Loveland Frogman, which is pretty cool. So it's like blah blah blah. I have to admit, I haven't been really following this too much, but Rock Alves, which is the manga artist for this, he has a very impressive portfolio, but I don't know. I like some of the stuff he draws is amazing, but I think Metazoo, the manga that he's doing, he's maybe getting a little bit rushed. So I believe there's supposed to be a release of the one chapter of the manga every 2 weeks. Maybe that's a little bit of a tight schedule. But at the same time, I guess maybe Metazoo just wanted to get the manga out there. But okay, well, that's my piece on the manga. I would just prefer the manga to have looked a bit different or maybe not as rushed. Final note, when I started Metazoo in 2020, I had very little idea how large it would grow. And I do think it grew up maybe a bit too fast during the TCG hype, during the pandemic or like COVID hype. When all collectibles just skyrocketed in prices. And Mike kept mentioning Metazoo as a small company. I did not believe Metazoo was a small company. I thought that they were like a mid-sized TCG and they would be able to still grow. But due to a lot of staffing issues and just, I guess, decisions that aren't really made very well throughout the years, it just caused the situation we are here with Metazoo. I would say I'm far from a Metazoo hater, but I am pretty salty about what's been happening with Metazoo a lot since I've been around the community for over 2.5 years now. Many content creators have been making videos about the management of Metazoo lately, and I have to say that I was a little bit, what do you call, influenced by trying to not be as critical with Metazoo. Although I do have constructive criticism videos, but I could have been more critical about like Mike and Andy, which is Chaos Crystal Enthusiast, which is the president now, and their decisions with Metazoo, like with a lot of the artists leaving, with a lot of the still no communication, although this letter just made it sound like things were going to get so much better. I think the management really has to do a lot better, or maybe they just have to give the reins to someone else. Like even some of the most positive influencers in Metazoo, like Nick Strength and Pokemon and Argos Anonymous, they've been making more critical videos about Metazoo and management and how they should be dealing with things distribution wise. It's just a really big issue with Metazoo now that we do have to focus on. So what we can do as a community, we can make Metazoo accountable by not purchasing as much Metazoo products, just seeing how then maybe Metazoo will take everything more seriously. Although with this letter, they do know that there are tons of these issues already, but they're still not taking it seriously. I just don't know what's going on. It's like radio silence, and silence is deafening to everyone. There's so many like crazy, like conspiracy theories with Metazoo. Like I am pretty much, my theory, I already put it in the salt mines of the Oasis, but I think that Metazoo is preparing for a sell-off. Like right now, like because of all the silence, like why is it silent? There's a reason for people being silent, and it's keep things secret. And what's a big secret with no updates of anything, players not being paid out or anything like that? Metazoo maybe talking with their partners of just selling to someone else, perhaps Sanrio, perhaps to someone else, perhaps to another TCG that's willing to take them in, or to revise Metazoo a little bit or something like that. But I do think, my opinion is that the next announcements we hear on the Metazoo server is going to be that Metazoo has been change of ownership, change of management, and maybe Mike stays on as creative director since he is the brains behind Metazoo. But just everything else, like the original artists have left, like Poncho, like Lily, Kelsey, Jet, they're still here. But a lot of them, like Seb, Poncho, Chris Campman, Victor Larson left a while ago. Like all the main artists that made Metazoo, like Cryptid Nation, or most of them, have left Metazoo, and there's supposed to be a new Metazoo contest as well. You know what? Let's hop into that a little bit, because I do want everyone to hold Metazoo accountable for this as well. So the fan art contest is supposed to end somewhere in December. So fan art contest was a contest that's held by Metazoo, where fans can submit artwork through like Instagram by tagging Metazoo and stuff like that. And that some of the winning cards that will be voted for later on, well, before it was on the Discord, would be chosen to be into fan art pack. And then so the 2023 fan art contest was supposed to be choosing some of the newest artists. And in this note, we see in December 10th, the CCE, Andy said, we're going to extend the fan art contest until January 10th, 2024. So that is tomorrow. Everyone remember this date. If the fan art contest is not ended there, that's another thing that Metazoo has been delayed on and hasn't held up their end of whatever they're saying. I just don't know at this point. It's like, I like Metazoo so much. Metazoo has been such a big part of my life. I'm super appreciative of what Metazoo has done for my life, and not like financially or anything like that. Financially, I guess it's like break even pretty much for me. But it's just overall, it's just like all the people I've met, all the experience I experienced, all like the TCG stuff I never knew about, like the printing process, the different SKUs, the distribution, like how holofoils are made. Like I've learned so much from Metazoo. But Metazoo is going down a dark path, and something really needs to change. And this letter, I would say it pretty much doesn't mean anything. I have to say, like, Metazoo just, I don't know what's going on. And this part really got me. I keep thinking about this part of the letter. Metazoo is synonymous with the phrase soon, but in the coming months and years will be synonymous with the phrase now. Kind of ironic. It's still soon. Now has not arrived yet. So if Metazoo, you guys can hurry up with now, that would be pretty swell. Please pay the Dark Tower players. Please just catch up, I guess, with all the different orders that you have in backlog. Please just be like keeping up with what you said in this letter. It's and you know what? Yeah, I'm just speechless. So I had so much hope for this letter. This letter seems to be another one of those maybe false promises. There's just a lot of that throughout the years. There's just so many. There's ups, but there's been so many downs. A lot of it is just like hype train, but then it's actually the reality is not what it seems. Another big thing is, like, say, the random seeding of items, Corman Cryptid Carnival collector boxes from TCG Player. They were supposed to have original art prints of like Karamis in them, but everyone that has ordered KCC collector box has said that they haven't gotten anything. So it doesn't seem like any of the art cards were seeded in them. And the seeding thing has got me so many times before. I think the only time Metazoo did seed things that I have heard about is the eBay Seance box, where some people did actually get tarot samples. But everything else, they were supposed to be Mike Waddell business cards seeded in some, I think like the UFO. Was it UFO or like later or some native? Oh, I think it was the Native Gala things product with eBay. They were supposed to have like Mike Waddell cards in them. The Kickstarter didn't have the original prints, the poker Kickstarter. And there's been some shady practices with partners as well. M2P2, the energy is supposed to be like a Collecticon, or was it like a Comic-Con exclusive? But then now they're selling it on their website for what? Like a fraction of the price. So everyone that bought in or pre-ordered that thought it was limited, not as limited as they thought. And what else? Like the bruised thing I talked about before. So the bruised t-shirt there, they're supposed to have like a 1 of 5 box chance to get like a special promo card in there rather than just a t-shirt. The t-shirt is great, but the promo card, barely anyone got it. And then this is secondhand I guess information that I've gotten. So if this is not accurate, I apologize. But some people, more than one, have seen like the Brew selling the promo cards separately at different conventions. And that means that technically a lot of the boxes didn't get seeded with the card. And also like, what's your passion? So that's jewelry. Like barely anyone got like the gold jewelry. Of course, like all the seeding stuff and random chance stuff is all chance, right? So it could be someone did order it and just didn't post it on social media. But I think the Metazoo community is close knit enough that we would all, or someone would know about it, at least some content creator or someone that's really active in the Discord or Reddit or something like that. They would post it. I don't know. I don't know what I can really trust with Metazoo anymore. What they say, what they do. I guess there just needs to be more actions. I think this video is going to be one of many where I'm just speaking out a little bit more about Metazoo. I love Metazoo, but I don't know if Metazoo is definitely not going in the right direction. And I think Metazoo maybe does need to change management. Just like the way that the Metazoo management, so I guess like Mike, Andy, and I guess whoever else, their communication isn't the best with the community. It's sometimes a little off-putting. It's sarcastic. They have their own sense of humor. They don't really take criticism very well. And they do hold it against you. Like this video, like if I made it like a year ago, I 100% would not have gotten the content creator card. Like I don't even have the supporter medal card, which I think I don't know. I must have been one of my criticism videos or something. That's still kind of like right in the heart there. But I digress. I said that I wouldn't worry about that anymore. And just a little bit of a rambling video. I've been in community for a long time. There's been a lot of great content creators that have come and gone. They're really passionate about Metazoo, but something when you peek behind the curtains, it just didn't sit right with them. I have to give a shout out to a few of them. Jeff of Purple Elf Productions, he did a lot of amazing artist interviews and a lot of content as well. And I even interviewed and talked with him as well quite a bit. And I think he's doing some magic content now with his son, but he left. He was a really great guy. Metaman is now called Grails.gg. He does a lot of Pokemon and One Piece content. You can give a watch. He still has this great sense of humor. But yeah, he left Metazoo for a very similar reason. Metazoo didn't seem right with him, and he still has his eye on it. I still talk to him sometimes, but it's just not as big part of his life anymore. EpicTube HD left very recently. He spilled a lot of tea, or at least his experiences with Metazoo in his goodbye video, pretty much. So he left. There was Ian from Cryptid Nation News. He and I started our news channels pretty much about the same time. He left. There was just a lot of things. I think the one thing that was what's called straw on the camel's back for Ian was the Metazoo interviews. Like, I think he didn't really get a chance, but they said that they would give him a chance or something like that. And then there was also like just a bunch of issues that he thought wasn't really right with Metazoo. So he's now Cardboard and Coffee. And I don't think he does too much content anymore, but I do really miss Ian. He was a really great guy and a great part of the community. Those are just a few people that are content creators, that are still content creators, or were content creators that just got burned by Metazoo and they just didn't stay. I feel like I've been burned by Metazoo a little bit for some, I don't know. I just can't think of the reasons right now, but it's just, but I stayed. I said that I would be, what's it called? Ride or die with Metazoo. I'm going to stick out with you, Metazoo. Although I'm saying a lot of this stuff right now, I am going to stick out with Metazoo just to see how it goes. I was here for the release of Cryptid Nation First Edition. I wasn't here during the Kickstarter, unfortunately. And I'm going to stay for, if Metazoo dies out in 2024, I'll be here. If Metazoo reemerges as some other entity, I'll be here. If Metazoo turns into Sanrio Zoo, or like gets rebranded to Fantazoo or Magic Cast even, I'll be here. I'm going to be sticking with Metazoo. I'm going to be sticking with Metazoo Community. I'm going to be around. You guys can rely on this channel that I will still cover Metazoo. It's a big part of my life. I want to see how it goes. Either down like the Titanic, up like the rocket ship, Apollo 13, or yeah, we'll see how it goes. So everyone, thanks for your time and listening to a Metazoo content creator just ramble about everything, what I think about just what's going on and where Metazoo is going is, well, I should say that. Metazoo, where are you going? My thoughts on Metazoo is that if it continues where it's going now, it won't be going anywhere. I think it'll die off in 2024. I don't even think that we'll reach Yokai Island. Maybe it'll be until 7 Seas, but I don't know what else can happen. So many LGSs just have a negative view of Metazoo. A lot of players have a negative view of Metazoo. A lot of people are angry at the Metazoo management. It's just like, if you want to rebrand, you have to do like a clean slate rebranding, or just a new direction, or new management team, or something drastic has to happen. Not just like an animated show that comes out, not just a video game that comes out. Like, those will help a little bit, but a lot of people's trust in Metazoo has been like completely crushed. Like, people need to see really concrete changes to Metazoo. And yeah, if Metazoo needs any ideas from me, feel free to shoot me a message. If I'm dead to you now, Metazoo management, Mike, Andy, I still, I don't want to say I love you guys, but I still support you guys with Metazoo, but maybe let go of the reins a little bit and let someone else take a stab at it. One last thing. Okay, I keep saying one last thing, but you know how these videos go. One last thing. If you haven't seen The Founder, so it's a movie. It's about like McDonald's. You should watch it. I think Metazoo is going down the path of The Founder. I've been saying it. You can ask multiple people. I've been saying that Metazoo is kind of like The Founder for a while now. The founder is kind of like the McDonald's brothers, started like the McDonald's company, and they had a great idea of like the fast food, how just not to give away the movie, how the fast food industry is kind of done and how fast food is run inside the restaurant itself. But it never really took off. The McDonald's was just always in the one state that it originated from. But it took someone else to come in that actually rebranded, took Metazoo to, well, not to Metazoo, took McDonald's to a different level. Like went to get different investors, went to talk to different like collaborating companies, even kind of like corporate takeover the company, you know, for McDonald's to succeed as what it is today. And I feel Metazoo might be in a similar situation. Maybe someone needs to take over the reins for Metazoo. I think Mike should stay as the creative director. He started Metazoo. The story and IP is still Mike's, and it's all still in his head. He's like the George R.R. Martin of Metazoo. So I think Mike can stay. Andy, I don't know him too well, but from what I've heard, Andy can maybe try some other endeavors, or maybe just help out in a less important role in the new Metazoo. But yeah, let's end it there. Leave a comment down below what you think of everything I've said today. What do you think should have happened with the roadmap? What do you think? Do you think Metazoo has been keeping up with their letter? Like, has this letter been everything you wanted and more? Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, keep on casting, and I'll talk to you later. Keep on casting, and I'll see you guys later. Haha, it's been a while. All right, bye.